powerful collaboration with the Missouri History Museum. Here with us today is Executive Director Dana Hotle. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And here we are, the start of your new season, just this week.
This Friday. Yes.
So tell me, this is really interesting. You're working with the Missouri History Museum for your season kickoff. Tell us more about the performance.
So the performance is being presented as part of the #1 in civil rights, the African American freedom struggle in St. Louis exhibit, which is a great exhibit with a huge title. And so we had this idea for a program called Faith, and within the scope of all of our concerts are themed. And so we wanted to open our 10th season with this theme of faith, and we wanted to connect all of our concerts to St. Louis, celebrating St. Louis for our 10th season. And I won't tell you the whole story, but we came to this idea that we wanted to commission a piece of music inspired by the landmark Dred Scott case, which is a huge event in the history of the United States that often doesn't get the recognition that it deserves. And last year we had commissioned a local composer, Adam Manis, to write a piece about his hometown. Our theme was home then. And he chose to write an amazing piece called The Delmar Wall, about that Delmar divide we talk about in St. Louis a lot. And it's a piece all about communicating and how we need to hold a little compassion for each other in our hearts as we communicate, and about these difficult things in our society. So we knew we could trust him with the subject, and he has delivered an incredible piece for baritone, strings, and flute. He takes the words of Chief Justice Taney, the horrible, vile words in that Supreme Court case, and then the words of Frederick Douglass about that case, which are incredible, and weaves them into a narration and beautiful, powerful music. And then along with those two pieces, we have two other pieces that explore faith from different angles, maybe a doubting of faith by two American composers, and then a piece that is inspired by the practicing of faith.
That's really, really interesting. I mean, it's also taking chamber music, classical music, but clearly in a modern and relevant, current really sense in that way. The Dred Scott case is of course something from a long time ago, but that's really, really, that's really
powerful. Our mission is really, from the start, has been to continue to grow the classical chamber music art form, which traditionally is European white men telling European white men stories. And we really feel that as an art form, we need to include our whole community. We were started by all women, so from the start, women are very underrepresented in the classical art, so we've always focused on that. And we're working to very authentically integrate stories of people of color and other narratives but including the tradition of the art form too, and tying those together through themes, right? That connect Beethoven and the Delmar Wall. What's the connection? How can we build those connections and make it relevant to our audience? And for people who don't know anything about classical music but like movie soundtracks, it tells a story and it's very inviting. And for people who are more familiar with the art form, it gives them an added layer of context they might not have had before.
No, and I think that's a really interesting point to bring up too, with soundtracks, to be able to take the theme, the essence, the aura of a time or a person or a period, and transform it to music. We've got a graphic. You have Robert McNichols, you mentioned earlier, baritone, and he's going to be singing. So tell us about that role of singing as it relates to the chamber music.
We love working with vocalists. A lot of our concerts are instrumental, piano and strings and winds and stuff like that, and we always try to incorporate a few vocalists. And to tell the Dred Scott case, we were inspired by the words of Frederick Douglass, which were, after the case, we have to walk on faith, not by sight. And we wanted to use these words. And we knew Robert. We'd met him through another collaboration we'd done somewhere else. And we were like, he's our guy. We want Robert to do this. There's a beautiful piece by Samuel Barber called Dover Beach that's also on the program for baritone. And so Robert will be performing twice throughout the concert, and we can't wait. It's great.
No, it's great to see Robert perform. Well, we've got the information there for you on the screen. It's taking place this weekend. Faith, presented by the Missouri History Museum, part of the #1 in Civil Rights exhibit. It's taking place September 8th. That's Friday at 7:30 p.m. For more information, go to chamberprojectstl.org. Well, there's more right after this break, so please stay with us.